This is Bryce, and he suffers from an addiction, one that has cost him a fortune.
I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on video games, not just buying the video games, but all the DLCs, skins, packs, stuff like that. I used to spend half of my paycheck at least on video games.
And with this addiction comes a crazy amount of debt. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 forms of debt. With such a disastrous situation, Bryce needs to act right away. This video dives into the immediate steps he can take to save his finances. Welcome to Finance Action, the show where we take action. My name is Romain, and today I am with Bryce. Bryce, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing excellent, Bryce. Let's look at your profile. You are 28 years old. You originally from Pennsylvania. You currently live in Los Angeles, and you work in the service industry. Is that right?
Yes, that is right. I've been in the service industry for 11 years now. So.
Okay, all right. We'll see how this worked out for you. But looking at the way you've rated your personal finances, from chilling to payday, you rated yourself.
Yikes. Barely scraping the barrel.
So tell me a little bit more. Kind of what's going on?
I kind of became addicted to video games. Way too addicted to video games to the point where it was taking away from personal connection and financial life.
Financial life? What do you mean?
I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on video games, not just buying the video games, but all the DLCs, skins, packs, stuff like that.
So you're what we call in the industry pretty much kind of buying all the pay-to-play type of, All right, we'll have actually a true number of how much you spend. Woo, my friend,
Yeah.
It's been a ride. Okay.
Yeah.
And but before we dive into the specifics of that passion, almost addiction, we could say, walk me through kind of what has been your life. You're 28 years old, and what's going on?
I think I kind of used video games as a source of escaping from a lot of stresses I had in my life, whether it be family or financial stress. And when you add those things together, you kind of spend money on things you enjoy or things that help you escape from your personal problems. And a lot of times when the things you escape to aren't the best thing, it puts you into more stress. It leads you down a dark path where you keep going and you keep going and you keep digging a bigger hole, bigger shovel, and you feel like you can't get out until you're at the bottom of the hole and you're looking up and you don't know how to get out.
Like when you're thinking about kind of this addiction, to what degree would you go about it? Like, was it taking hours of your times every day and dollars too? But
it was taking way too much of my time. I would get home from work, get home from school, and just grab a controller, pick it up, and play video games until 2, 3 in the morning. Sometimes really loud. It's like screaming to the top of my lungs to the point where I've broken controllers. I've thrown controllers at the wall.
So kind of some rage mode here.
I am a rage gamer for sure. I am a rage gamer to the T, and I feel bad that my stepmother had to deal with hearing me scream all hours of the night at my video game.
Right? I mean, look, I must say, I'm a video gamer as well. Sometimes, I'm really trying to get out of this because to me, in a way, it used to be one of my biggest time vice. When I was young in my 20s, and so, today, guys, I'm pretty calm, but I used to be also pretty enraging, I must say. Look, not everyone is perfect, so I can match to you those emotions when we get involved in those. I wouldn't go to, throwing video games and stuff, but I could get loud too and pissed off. I'm not gonna lie, right? Everybody has their downfalls, and however, I didn't spend tens of thousands of dollars into it. In fact, over that time, it seems also that, looking at some of your historicals, you were kind of working small jobs, right? What were you doing?
I work at restaurants, so I take bit restaurant jobs. I never really stayed at a job for too long. I would stay a few months, get bored, find the new one, move on to that, work, rinse, repeat. Same cycle over and over again. And I really never had a job for more than, I want to say, a year and a half, maybe, working at the same job. I have a long work resume with no real long-lasting work experience.
So we've pretty much carrying this, this addiction that was kind of a form of escapism, and too many that you guys may be watching too. You were living for the games in a way, and what was your relationship with money during those years?
My relationship with money was just get it to buy video games. That's pretty much all it was at that point. And it got to the point where I feel like I was treating my life as a game and not looking at real life as real life. Just thinking, I live in the moment now, and you spend all this money on video games, and then you get off the game and you're, what did I do? It's just a game. And you hear people all the time say, oh, it's just a game. But when you're in the moment, it's not a game.
Well, let's say it. How much would you spend? Like the game where you spend some of the most money, what is it?
The game I've spent most of my money is Fortnite. For sure. Battle passes, skins, all that kind of stuff, playing every single night.
And in total, now, if we were to sum the total amount of money over the years that you've spent on...
It's like $25,000 in my entire life, counting consoles, games, DLCs, all that kind of stuff. Extra virtual currencies that a lot of video games have now. I would spend so much money on virtual currency. I used to spend half of my paycheck at least on virtual currency, and then another quarter of it on food while playing the video games that I spent money on.
So with spending that much money, I mean, half a paycheck is crazy at the golden age when you want to try and invest or just at least, find a way to build yourself a career. What was your thought around money at that time? I mean, it must have not been easy with small jobs in California.
It wasn't easy. It got to the point where I was so stressed that I would spend all my night stressing out and not being able to sleep. I would spend all my money and not know how much money I was going to make on my next paycheck, because a lot of the jobs I've had, it's just been tips based. So if you don't get tips, it still stresses you out. The anxiety builds up. You kind of break down at work saying, I need this money because how am I going to pay my bills when I could have not?
I'm going to buy my skins too. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I can see that. And so, many people may find themselves in, it can be video games in your case. It can be any other form of addiction, shopping addictions. It can be, like gambling, alcohol. All the vices that exist. In a way, video games was to me an addiction too. What got you out?
Well, a year ago, I happened to meet the right person, and we've been dating for a year now, and we started living together 4 or 5 months ago, and it really kind of made me open my eyes that I'm not just living for myself anymore. I have an amazing girlfriend to help or to live with, and I don't want her to have to pick up the slack when I don't have the money. So I need to stay focused on having money so she's not paying for everything. Whereas it's equal pay now.
So you guys have been together for a year, and how do you split your money?
We're pretty much 50-50. Bills are 50-50, groceries are 50-50. We pay for our own bills otherwise, but things that we do that involve us living together, we pretty much split.
Okay. Just a quick aparté here to let you know my thoughts around finances within couples. And if you guys have seen another episode, I've already mentioned this, but my preference is a component around ratio. Okay? And in a society today where, it depends who you're speaking with, but, today, 2 salaries are almost necessary to live. We can't just have one person being a male or female, kind of bringing, especially if you're thinking about investing, which, we're not there for you, but if you're thinking about family and so on, well, we'll be there. We'll see. I'm going to tell you about what I would do. But the ratio means is when two salaries are drastically different, in your case, how much does your partners make?
It's like $2,200 a month that she makes.
Okay, so we'll see about how much your income is. But if you guys are pretty close to one another, then what happens in that case is, 50-50 could work. But if, let's say, you have a drastic, difference, right? And what I mean by that is, let's say rent is, $1,000, okay? I make 100,000 and she makes 50,000, vice versa, right? Then I'm going to pay 2/3 of the rent and she will pay 1/3 because I'm making twice. So I'm going to pay 660 and she's going to pay 333. And this is going to impact us the same way because we are following kind of that ratio aspect. This has been proven to be pretty successful in the different couples that I had the chance to interact with. I do this in my relationship as well because, again, you shouldn't be able to stress your partner for things that they can't afford. They still need to be able to have a certain income as well. And again, vice versa. This, to me, feels pretty fair. So this is something that you could be implementing. Again, I really enjoy this process, and I encourage you guys to watch this video right here for another example of where this worked out pretty well. Okay. So this now was a year ago. You kind of got out of your video game stage, although you're still spending a lot of money on it. We'll see that. But today, you're yikes. What is going on today?
My past have really put me into a lot of debt that I haven't bothered to take care of for now, and it still stresses to the point where I spend too much money on food.
So another form of escapism in a way.
Yes, I haven't paid off my other debts, so I buy food as a way to kind of escape.
That's an interesting component. I will have to think about it when using escapism as a way to kind of go through life. How would I adjust that to finances? You're bringing an interesting component here. Maybe we'll look at our recommendations a little bit different. Okay. Let's think about this as we transition to our next segment, which looks at your income and your assets. You work as, what do you do?
I am a team member at a restaurant. Basically, okay. I make the deliveries that people order online. I prep the food.
How much does that give you?
I'm $21 an hour.
And you're working about 40 hours a week?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that brings your income per year to about 43,680. If we look at it net, it's 2,750 or so. Is that accurate?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, looking at the way you compare for people in your categories in the United States, 50% make more, 50% make less. Between 25 and 34, the median is at 50,752. So you are a little bit below. That's the nature of the industry as well. We'll see how we could potentially raise that up. Actually, I have a very good idea in my recommendations for something that you could potentially benefit off. And let's move on now to what you have. So, you've provided me here with your statement. I truly appreciate. Those were actually coming from last month, but we've also been able to look into your most recent one. And today, you're showing up with $270 on your checking account. Is that it?
Yes, that is it. I've accrued no savings. I used to blow through all my savings on video games. I have killed every other financial route.
No savings, no retirement, no investments, nothing?
No.
But are you expecting any form of money soon?
Yes, I do get paid in just a week. So financial, I'm happy because I do have a stable paycheck now. So I'm able to start catching up on my financial errors from the past and not make those mistakes again.
Okay, so that brings your expected checking to 1,610.
Yes.
Do you have anything else?
Yes, I do have a car. I
okay.
do. Yes.
Is it paid off?
It is paid off, yes.
Nice. How did you afford that?
I was fortunate to have a father who helped me pay off my car.
Okay, that's great. What are you driving?
It's a 2014 Honda Civic.
Woo, very nice. Those cars hold their value like crazy. I love those products. Honda, Mitsubishi, Toyota is the route to go. How many miles?
160,000.
Okay, how much do you think this car is worth?
My dad bought it for $12,000.
How long ago?
4 years ago.
Dude, are you freaking kidding me? This car, today private party, 9,100.
That kind of retained its value.
Dude, that's insane. Insane. When cars are right now depreciating like crazy, I mean, especially if you own an EV car, hold up for dear life. It's the Titanic. Huh? And on top of that, as you guys know, my preference for buying a car is at the sweet spot, which is at the 3-year mark, well, 30,000 miles. That is the golden goose. Anyway, that brings your current assets, my friend, a lot of which is driven by your father's contribution, to 10,519. Okay. Let's move to our next section, which looks at your expenses and your debt. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 forms of debt. Let's go through it together. It's not as bad, but we want to get out of this shit ASAP. You know what? I'm going to start soft. You have a bunch of collections. But for amounts, my friends, that are pretty ridiculous. $337, $375. Why do you have those small shit collection here? This is peanuts. It's destroying your credit score.
I made a lot of financial mistakes with relationships in the past. I've let other people dictate my finances, relationship-wise.
Okay.
I didn't take control of my finances. And
what do you mean by that? What happened?
I had demanding girlfriends, and I couldn't say no. And I would buy a mattress and didn't pay it off and forget about it.
What was your mentality at the time?
It was pretty much one of those buy now, and that's a later Bryce's problem, where later Bryce doesn't like that. So this Bryce was, oh yeah, you can buy it now. It's kind of like a regular credit card debt. You can enjoy this now and then think about it.
I mean, it's small amounts though.
Yes.
Do you have your credit score on you? I want to
yes,
see something.
I do.
All right. Let's look at this. I want to check on this live. And guys, of course, if you have a credit score, I like Credit Karma. It's not sponsored, but to me, they've been pretty good, pretty legit. Okay. So today, your credit score is at 551. We are down 28 points last week. As I look into kind of what's happening right now, it seems like a lot of which is driven by a very high credit card utilization, 158% on your Capital One. But again, not a crazy amount, my friend. You have a balance, a credit limit of 300, and your balance is 473. What is your thought process here?
I think I've thought with my life that I take care of the bills that I need first, like the ones that'll help me live, get to work, and then think about those bills when I have the excess money, because I'm not worried about living. And these ones are pushed away for right now. Mm-hmm. They're in the little back bottom of the brain over here, and all bills should be frontal lobe.
Yeah, I mean, you're 90 days late on it.
Yeah.
And, this is it's pretty small money.
Yeah.
It's small money, but it's impacting your credit score like no tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, actually, when we think about your credit score, I would love to put you on a Fizz card. It's a debit card that allows you to not have to go through the struggle of accumulating debt because it's using similar to a debit card, but they report to the credit bureau. As we think about some of the risk components that are affecting your account, and that's going to be coming from your debt ratio. So you have those shit collections here, and as I mentioned, they're pretty old, 2020, 2022. Dude, we can literally kill that with peanuts. Because you're in what we call collection hell. Are they calling you right now?
I know, because I got a new number.
Oh, yeah. But you would know how to call them, though.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
okay.
I would find the debt.
Dude, we can literally bring that shit to like $50.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Get this shit out of your way. At 28 years old, I want you to start building a credit and not... it's peanuts right now. It's nothing. Okay, but I mean, if this was only it, you also have other collections. Since we're on the topic, you have one for a credit card of $1,722, Same thing, I imagine.
That was a girlfriend who I couldn't say no to. That's a later Bryce's problem.
You know what was it for?
A bunch of different things.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Student loans. I'm going to start from the lowest to the highest. 2,605, 3,074, 3,122, 3,362, 3,399, 4,000, 5,468, 6,700, and that was 7,355. What's very surprising, though, my friend, is that some of them are as recent as last year.
Yes,
You still at school?
I'm not. I kind of failed out of school. It was online schooling.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't have a long attention span for online classes. It's different if I'm in school. When I graduated, when I got my degree, it was in school. So I was able to go, have a set schedule, make my own schedule, be there, do all my work, go home, leave, graduate. With this online, it was hard for me to focus, and I failed out of college.
That's an expensive, huh? 39,142. It's federal, though. So right now, I'm sure you're not paying a cent on it.
Not yet. I want to get rid of that, too. I want to be zero debt.
Okay.
Zero debt.
All right. Okay. I will put a plan for you to get behind this. But right now, if we look at your total amount of debt, you sum to $42,050. So we'll soon be revealing your net worth. But looking at your expenses, it's also a little bit tricky because while you're not paying much for rent, how much are you paying for rent?
Rent, it's $896 just for rent.
That's pretty good. Does that include utilities and anything?
It does not.
How much
Utilities
are you paying for,
are
like
50,
water and so on?
$54 a month. That's what my girlfriend and I split.
Okay, that brings your housing expense to 35% of your income.
Yes.
We like it to be below 28, but again, you're living in California for less than $1,000.
Yeah.
Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. We'll keep it for now, huh?
Yeah.
Car transportation expense here, looking at your statement, 124 gas, 124 gas, 105 for insurance. That brings your transportation to 8%. Sir, we like it to be below 15. Let's go. Housing plus transportation, you're golden. But you're not golden on everything else. So, we have still a little bit of escapism through video games. However, not $25,000 anymore, but, I see a couple of transactions here and there. I mean, you have a Microsoft subscription, $17. You also have Nintendo, $23. PlayStation, Nintendo. Okay. A little bit of escapism, but not too crazy, around $50, $70 a month. I can say, okay, we'll be speaking about that. Now, on the side, it's nice to see, but when we look at your previous statement, you used to spend like crazy on restaurants, up to like $400 plus per month. But in the recent months here, you've been a little bit more frugal.
Yes.
What has changed?
2 factors. One is I do want to live a better life for my girlfriend. I also don't want my children to go through the same financial issues that I went through, not deal with the same things that I do. I want them to learn from my mistakes. They don't see my financial mistakes.
So today you're ready to change?
Yes, I am.
I'm seeing some good early steps. I'm glad to see that. You're spending pretty reasonably. Other than that, again, a little bit on food. Do you have any pets?
I have 2. My girlfriend has a dog, a little Chihuahua named Gus. He is 13 years old.
Oh, okay.
And he's a tiny dog, but he takes up so much of that bed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask the audience right now. They are going to know, and they're going to ask you directly because they know the next question that I'm going to ask you. You guys know it. Do you have pet insurance?
I do not. We do not.
At this point, I should be sponsored by freaking the veterinarian of the United States, and to be honest, holy smokes. It's crazy the risk that you guys have with not putting yourself on pet insurance. A cat is not expensive per month. It's like $30.
Yeah.
I have actually a link in the description for Lemonade. I really enjoy them. It's a really good company. I've had my dog for years under them. Really good. So I am going to give you the link again. Guys, check it out. Please, don't make me piss. Asking for pet insurance. I'm tired of asking the question. Looking at some of the rest of your expenses, I see about $40 over the course of the past month spent on overdraft fees. Come on. It's free money going out the window, huh? Overdraft fees. So if I look at, when I say, I have something that's called the shit counter. It's for expenses that are not necessary. Overdraft fees goes to me at the lowest of the lowest. That's the shittest of all. Because it's literally money that's given away for you going minus $25 on your account. You're paying $10 left and right. 4 times last month. We don't want that. We're going to put in place a structure that allows you to escape from all of those shit expenses. Okay. Now, together, looking at the rest, again, something that is a little bit worrying is I'm not seeing any medical insurance.
I do not have health insurance yet. My job just put in place the fact that I can get health insurance now, so I'm going to talk to them about getting health insurance, and it's probably going to come out a little out of my paycheck, but it's very much needed.
Dude, this is it's an atomic bomb that you're on. Huh? You're standing on a mine. You hope it doesn't explode, because we need that, especially if you're at the state and with your income level, you could qualify for very good rates, almost paying zero in California. Is your partner in the health insurance?
Neither one of us do. Well, no, she just got it. Never mind. She just got it. So she does.
Because you're working full time.
I'm working full time.
Yeah, come on. Get that ASAP. This is, before anything, we need to get you on that. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, let's summarize your financial situation looking at your net worth. My friend, at 28 years old, you're showing today with a net worth of minus 31,530. Okay. We acknowledge that. But now we take action. Before that, I want to show you something. It's probably going to make you think a little bit different on certain expenses that you've had, okay?
Okay.
Let's transition together into the money case. I'm going to show you as an intervention what's going on. You've spent, over the past couple of years, $25,000 into video games. This is $25,000. Now, the timing at which you've spent that money is incredible. Because what I'm about to show you is what would that money be worth if instead of investing on skins and weapons, BS, and all that virtual shit, you would have invested it, and I'm going to show it at different stages. So, let's say we're going to be nice, and we're going to say you've invested that money, if you had invested that money at 25 years old, okay? So if you were 35 today, and you had just invested that money will be worth more than $50,000. It would have been worth, dude, $65,000.
My God.
That's how much would be on your bank account at 35 years old if you had closed your eyes, just put that money in and let it go. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. That same money at 45 years old. Dude. $168,000.
Oh my God.
You ready? 55 years old. It would have been $432,000. By the time you had retired, $1.2 million. You've spent the value of $1.2 million on video games if you had retired with that money. Now I'm saying, there is a balance to it. I'm not saying, everything is about retirement. No. $1.2 million was spent. You could have spent 500, 1,000. That would have been fair. What do you feel when I tell you that?
I feel like I've literally wasted my life.
No. We're not going to go this route. You're so young, my friend. You've just started. You've made a mistake. We've all made mistakes. Dude, if you knew, I have spent thousands of dollars on classic cars. I don't want to get started. Classic cars. I bought a Mustang, brand new. Went drag racing here in Las Vegas. 3 months later, blew up the engine. Cost me $10,000 at 23 years old. Okay. So we've all done mistakes. And guys, if you're watching, don't give me the BS that you haven't made mistakes too. Now, have we made $25,000 mistakes? Maybe not. But this is over. This is the past. We turn the page. Now, how do we still, you're not 40 years old, you're not 50 years old, you're not 60 years old. Even if you're 40, it's never too late. Even if you're 50, it's never too late. But you still have so much time. Your life, my friend, like mine, has just started. Let's put in place a structure that now you're just going to freaking rock and roll and play to the personal finance game to perfection. So for my recommendation section, here I'm going to go again. So different because there is a form of escapism with your behavior, with your addiction. How do I fight that? And you've given me a little bit of bits and pieces where I think this is going to speak to you. Number one, I'm going to do a fairly basic assessment of your situation. Today, your needs, your wants, and your goal. This is money to save, invest, or pay back debt. Your needs today sum to $1,626. That is 59% of your income. We like it to be below 50. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. You're doing okay. Living with that in Los Angeles. Your wants, I'm going to cap you. Your meals outside and your video games to $150. That leaves, there's going to be miscellaneous so. That leaves what I called is gold. This is the number today that if there's one number that you need to remember is this one. Mathematically, you should be able to save per month $750. No problem. So how do we think about that?
I think it is something that I can do if I keep my blinders on.
And so what I recommend you, and what are some of the tricks that I'm going to tell you is, with this escapism, we have to identify triggers. What is a trigger that prompts you to, especially invest in restaurants and so on? Because you've not shown too much spend in video games. This era is gone. But you've also been able to think about, your recent spend in restaurants and so on. That's pretty steep, for someone that's making $20 an hour. $20 an hour, my friend. In one of the most expensive cities in the world, you cannot allow yourself this behavior. But you're doing so good on the side with transportation. I think you're doing excellent. I have a couple of really fun set of recommendations for you. How do I fight an addiction specific to finances? Well, you're a gamer. What about implementing gamification to it? Not only that, but something that's a little bit of competition. Fortnite and stuff, there's competition behind it. I thrive on competition. One, you could implement what is called a money box. This is a box that you can buy on Amazon, and it has numbers from 1 to 100. You mark the number of the cash amount that you put in that box. So today you want to put $25. $25 is marked, you put it in the box. At some point, you're going to have to put the $100 one. But this is, I believe, over $5,000 that is saved with fun. You put the $1. Oh, there you go. I check mark that $1. Okay? That's a good idea. Second idea is what I call Moneyless Monday. I don't know if you're familiar with Meatless Monday or, some of that aspect is when you are voluntarily preventing yourself from spending any money on Mondays. And that allows you to be thoughtful. Oh, if I need to spend something, I will do it on Sunday or on Tuesday. But what that allows you is to have eyes on your finances at all time and be very intentional with the way you spend your money. I want you to have that mindset of intention. Next one. Why? For a week or 2 weeks per month, don't you challenge yourself to what we call a no-spend week, a no-spend challenge. But you see it ahead, you're like, all right, 3rd week of July is a no-spend week. You just want to, what I'm doing right now is in your head, putting frontiers. I am putting borders, okay? So that you have to think before you make that purchase. Buy it and think it later, Bryce, that's no more. I need you to put frontiers. You could also do something along the lines of a rotation month. There is 1 month where you're actually allowing yourself, to spend $100 on gaming. And then the next month, you cut it. But you have to be very firm against yourself. I don't want you to, that can be a lot the yo-yo. Oh, I'm privating myself and then, I don't want you to do that. But you have to think about what works for you, okay? But I think those challenges are really good. In a similar fashion to if someone, for example, is addicted to social media. I know, I can tell you, there was an era where I was scrolling on TikTok and all of that BS. The amount of time that I've lost on this shit is crazy. But there is an app that I downloaded myself, which is called 1 Sec. Not sponsored, none of that. And what it does, and if you're on social media, it asks you to take a breath before you get into that app. So instead of going by default to video games or going by default to restaurants, you have to be intentional with how you spend your time. Right now, we are together in a moment of our life where we have the highest output to work. Because you don't have to think about your parents, as far as I know. You don't really have to think about your brother. You don't have to think about anyone. You don't have kids. You don't have little John that needs to go to soccer. An hour today, Bryce, is 10 hours in 10 years. An hour today is 10 hours in 10 years for you, because you only have to think about you and your partner, but you guys are both together kind of creating your trajectory, okay? So how, in that some of the best moments of your life like this, where you need to be on the grind, do you filter yourself up? Well, I need you in a way to elevate your career. You can't be at 30, 35 years old working $20 an hour jobs. You've done it for 11 years. After a while, thank you. So there are different ways. There is a company that I really enjoy. For example, I will give you their information. It's Course Careers. It's a very, affordable training, and they give you exit opportunities that can go up to like 40, 50,000 plus per year. And it's, I need you to have some form of education. We need to have something that is of value to the market. So programs like this, I have a link in the description again. If you guys want to check it out, I've vetted them. It could be interesting, okay? We need to elevate the value perception on Bryce to the market, because no matter what financial recommendation I'm going to tell you, if you continue to average $20 an hour, you're going to be capped. You're going to be capped. Even if you live in a car. We've had someone live in a car here. At some point, you can't just cap. You have to get out of that, okay? So, financially, now that we've started to think about fun ideas for how we bring that intentional mindset to how we spend money, you're going to put $1,000 in your bank account, and the next thing you're going to do, of course, you're going to take care of your medical insurance. That is not even a question. You're going to call those collections that are years. You're in the collection hell, the collection dump. They don't even think they're going to collect a dime from you. You're going to say, hey, I have $50. I have $100. You take it? You don't? Okay, see you next week. Bye. At some point, they will say yes. They will say yes. I'm telling you. I've done it tens of times. They will say yes. They bought your debt for probably $20 at this point. Okay, because it's so old. And plus, it's peanuts. Aren't we done with shit credit scores and so on? You're not going to be able to build anything with this. Get a FIS card, as I mentioned previously, and that is going to allow you to protect your spend, increase your credit score, and after you've done and taken care of your collections, we now speak strategically. What do we do with this money? Because if it's on your account, it gets spent. So you're going to either do automatic withdrawal to what is called a higher saving account, to the point of which you build an emergency fund. And now, my friend, we start opening a Roth IRA for retirement. Okay? This is a good time to start turning into this. Even if we start small, we start opening potentially, HSA for health-related issues. Not so much money to start with, but we want to build the foundations. Today, if you continue the same way and the way you're showing me on your spend, my friend, your life is going to be shit. I'm telling you, I'm sorry, that's the way it is. I am myself a video game addict. I'm not going to lie to you. And I had to cut that shit fast because I could see time flying in front of me as much as I was trying to, be good about it. I was years ahead before that. But you can see life training in front of you, and then it's gone. You still have a 2 in front of your age. It's grind time. So what's going to happen is hopefully you're going to elevate your expected earning. You're going to be able to now, safeguard the money that you're working with. You're going to take care of your debt. Your credit score is going to shoot like no tomorrow. I'm going to tell you it's going to be very fast because your debt is so low. You can take care of it literally in a month. You have $473 on your credit card. And I see Nintendo and PlayStations. Come on, my friend. In a way, I'm sorry, this is a 17 years old statement here that I'm seeing for $400. You can't build yourself. Forget about a house. Forget about any of this if you continue with that, in a way, childish behavior. So you've proven to me that in the recent months, you've been able to change some of that with reduced spend. And so I'm going to call you in a month. And I'm going to say, hey, Bryce, have you saved $750? And are you going to start taking care of your collections? What are you going to tell me?
Yes.
From the different recommendations that I spoke to you, what is the one that seems to be the most attractive? Is it the money box? Is it the moneyless Monday? Is it a combination of those? What is it?
I think I love the money box idea, putting a little money away, because you never know when you might actually need that money that you're putting away. So that comes for when you actually need it. I like the moneyless Monday. Those are probably my 2 favorite ones.
Dude, success is not taking place in a day. Success is a continuation of behaviors. And just starting with little things like this, it's going to already allow you the chance to start thinking about investings and so on. Small changes and consistency makes the greatest difference. Let's make this happen. I trust in you. I will follow up with you. What are your final words, or do you have any questions for me?
My final words are, I am ready to stop the 17-year-old behavior spending that I used to spend when I was 17. Ready to make a change now.
All right. Do you shake my hand?
Yes.
Okay. As we mark the end of our conversations and really something to visualize the steps that you're about to take, I'm going to offer you a Frenchie. This is an original French coins, and you don't need to take it off. This can wear with you at all time. This is another game. Look at it. See, hey, would Romain approve this? Would Romain approve this freaking $20 skin on Fortnite or any of that BS? Again, this is a visual stopper. So I offer that to you really as a proof of our, our discussion, and I hope that you will take care of it as well.
I definitely will take care of this. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bryce, for coming on the show. Thank you guys for following. We have so many exciting episodes that are coming through. We invite you to like, subscribe. That helps support the channel. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.
Hello, Bryce. This is Romain. How are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better, actually. A bit of a struggle financially, but I'm able to go out and do things. I can actually enjoy life financially now.
That's excellent, mate. So you remember at the end of our discussion, you kind of took the challenge to target $750 a month of savings. I know it's been a couple of weeks now. How have you been trending on that?
I wasn't able to because I did go away. I did go back home for a little bit, so I wasn't able to really work. But I just got back into work this last week, so I've been able to start putting money away and start paying on some of my bills.
Excellent. When we thought about your expenses, especially kind of your video games and so on, and food, you still have this under control?
Yes, I think I've eaten out once since then.
Whoa. Okay. How is it going with your partner? Are you guys still together?
Yeah.
That's
Things
awesome.
are still going great between us.
And, last time when we spoke, you were feeling quite stressed about your finances and so on. Today, how do you feel?
I don't feel stressed. I feel like now my job is more consistent. I'm fully able to live my life and pay my bills now.
Are you still working in the tipping industry?
Yes, I am.
Nice, okay. And, when we thought last time about some of the collections with very small amounts, have you started to tackle any of those or not yet?
Yes, I have. Started.
No way!
Started to pay some of my credit card bills.
Okay. Well, that's excellent. How did the show impacted you just in general, and how do you feel about everything?
I think it really made me think about where my financial priorities were, and it made me really think about what I wanted to focus my finances on my priority so I can have a nice, fun life with my girlfriend and enjoy life out here in LA. And I was able to buy her concert tickets for her anniversary, so we're going to a concert in a few weeks. So
that's awesome. Yeah, you're experiencing the joys of life, mate. I'm really glad that you're getting a little bit more balanced. As we spoken, you still had a little bit of debt, but it shouldn't be a blocker from enjoying life and just going at it little by little, taking care of it. To me, right now, you seem in a much greater headspace. It's so great to hear that.
Yes, it helps because having the wristband on, I kind of still makes me think it still. Oh,
you still wear the Frenchie? You wear the Frenchie?
I still have it on. Yeah, I still have it on.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great way. You think and you're like, oh, should I do that? Would Romain approve it?
It really is it's subconscious. You see it, and it's a subtle reminder that, hey, don't be stupid with your money.
That's awesome. Anything else going on, or?
I actually have an interview for a second job too, so I might have more income coming in.
You're cranking, Bryce.
Yeah.
On the right track, the right mindset. Let's rock and roll.
Awesome. Yep. I'm feeling a whole lot better.
All right. Have a great rest of your week, Bryce. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Bye.